This is a summarized main story of Arknights Endfield version 1.2. By talking to Mifu, you are informed that the forces of Wuling City have pinpointed Ardashir's location. The operation to neutralize him will be primarily executed by the Yinglong Special Task Force, a group in which Chen seems to know someone from it. Through a phone call from Zhang Fangyi herself, it is revealed that Ardashir is currently at the Marker Stone, located at the heart of the Syranite Dam. This is a crucial point that maintains Wuling City's defense system. Therefore, it must not be damaged by Ardashir. You then talk to Zhang Fangyi face to face. She first explains that the Marker Stone, as the origin of Wuling City, was once the work of a Faramut proxy. If I'm not wrong, Faramut here probably refers to a race in the Arknights lore. A very strong one, most likely, as they are probably related to some ancient giant beasts in the lore. This Faramut proxy was convinced by the Hongshan Academy of Sciences to leave a creation there, which generations of Tianshi then put immense effort into building into a great structure to keep the Blight Tide away from the city. This further emphasizes the importance of the Marker Stone. Consequently, Zhang Fangyi requests your assistance in heading there to capture Ardashir and defend the stone from being destroyed by him, while she focuses on preparing Wuling City for a full-scale defense against the coming attack. She also instructs an expert from the Yinglong Special Task Force, who goes by the codename Arcane, to assist you in this operation. As you arrive there, you first stumble upon a Tianshi fending off the Aggelois and a hostile purple human-like figure. You rush in to help. Just then, Arcane, the individual from the Yinglong Special Task Force, makes her appearance just in time. Although Arcane is strong, she seems to have a very sharp and blunt personality, which Chen dislikes. The backstory between them is revealed. Before Chen became an Endfield operator, both she and Arcane were Yinglong Special Task Force reservists. However, unlike Arcane, Chen failed the exams, and the two once got into a fight. Fortunately, time has passed and things have moved on, at least for now. In the meantime, Arcane suggests the team to head to a location containing a Faramut heart, which was left by the Sui Regulator. The Sui Regulator is an organization associated with Faramuts working under the HAS and directly above the Yinglong Special Task Force. The Faramut heart they left behind holds the Faramut power, and Arcane can extract this power with her device, which will prove handy in the pursuit of Ardashir. Perlika also reports that the purple human-like figures are likely creations of Ardashir's powers, and that Ardashir has the ability to manipulate the Blight. You then overhear hostile activity coming from Cloud Rest Woods, a location with a Tianshi pillar that is away from your destination, the Marker Stone. Arcane deduces that this might be Ardashir's plan to delay you, but the situation in Cloud Rest Woods cannot be ignored. Without further ado, the team rushes to the Tianshi pillar, only to discover that it has already been disabled by Ardashir. With everyone's effort and Arcane's Faramut power, you swiftly and successfully restarted the pillar. In the process, you stumble upon two familiar Qingbo stockaders creeping around. They claim that they are only there to find their grandpa's belongings, but end up trapped by Ardashir's doing. This part is really odd because I didn't really know what it means, but I guess they are trying to hint that the ancestors of Qingbo Stockade are related to the Tianshis of Wuling City. With the pillar problem solved, the team rushed to catch up to Ardashir. On the way, Ardashir summoned his purple puppets once more to stop you.
我拖住他们，动手！
The entrance of the marker stone is a portal with a scroll-like passage, which is one of the Faramut's proxy's power. You caught up to Ardashir, but didn't manage to capture him, as he swears to completely destroy the marker stone and cyanide them. Then, he teleported again to the top of the building. To pursue Ardashir, the team fixes more damaged Faramut hearts, revealing the scroll-like passage once again to meet Ardashir at the top. On the way, you encountered some butterflies. Arcane clarifies that these are also the powers of the Faramut proxy, as they bring the team messages to assist in the pursuit. Arcane also suggests leaving the battle with Ardashir entirely to her, since you are also his target, which you decline, insisting that you fight together. As the team enters the final scroll portal to meet Ardashir, he briefly transports everyone to different places within the passage and meets you face to face beforehand. He introduces himself as a traveler and a Phidian, likely an ancient race in the lore. He seems to know a lot about you, at least for now, more than you know about yourself, as you have suffered from memory loss since you last awakened. Likely through the influence of the Faramut powers within the scroll, he brings you to a place where you were at the very beginning of the story to have a personal conversation. The conversation concluded a few things. Ardashir has two homes. The first home is called Yersh, which he claims that it is a graveyard. The second home he claims is on the other side of the Cosmic Gate, an empire in the world Terra where he was called Pasha, and that he has also lived for more than 100 years. He offers you a solution, that you would just take the willingness and leave, as his goal is simply to open the very large rift to find the exiles in the ether side. He reveals that the Terrans call the exiles the Foundation, which he says it in the mysterious language that you recognize. He also invites you to go with him so that he can reveal the truth you seek, which you decline. With that, he gives you a mysterious dinar and exits the scroll portal to meet everyone and fight. The battle with Ardashir is indeed inevitable. Ardashir also tries to attack the Faramut heart, and the team tries their best to defend it. In the end, however, as Ardashir has no choice but to bait you into his rift, Arcane forcefully uses the Faramut powers to turn her in instead and trap Ardashir together with her into the scroll-like domain. Although Ardashir is temporarily contained now, Arcane is also trapped with him. Everyone is worried, especially Chen. But it appears that there's nothing else to do other than repairing the Fairwood Heart as soon as possible. Thus, a sub-AIC factory is deployed in that area to take on the repair. Now that Ardashir's show is over, everyone is expecting that it's Nefarith's turn to act. Zhuang Fangyi first brings you some good news. Since both Arcane and Ardashir were trapped inside the scroll earlier, the HAS and Sui regulator are able to interfere with the scroll remotely to help Arcane, which means that she'll be okay for now. Then she came up with a plan to stop Nefarith. She wants you to work with all the Tianshis to reinforce the Tianshi pillar with heavy Siranite so that it'll effectively stop the blight from the outside. This also means that the majority of Wuling's power will be situated in the outer part of the city. Then, Nefarith herself will go straight for the poorly defended main pillar and the Siranite dam. Zhuang Fangyi claims that she will defend it herself from Nefarith until everyone is done reinforcing the pillars and returns to neutralize Nefarith. In other words, it is a risky trap set up by Zhuang Fangyi. Moments later, Nefarith and the Bone Crushers finally launched the full-scale attack on Wuling City. As you were reinforcing the Tianshi pillar, just as planned, Nefarith charged straight into the main pillar. This means that there is no more time to waste, so your team and the Wulingers work together to crush the enemies. After reinforcing the final pillars, the blight problem is solved for now. You rush back to assist Zhuang Fangyi, and the team engages in a battle with Nefarith.
终于见面了，聂菲斯。
不欢迎我吗？明明是你邀请我来，我可很欣赏你的胆识。我亲爱的救世主，你总算来了。这一次，别再让我失望。来取出我的心脏吧。
所愿，接近了。
前世绝望吗？
超越，重塑了他的躯体。
Nefarith tries to go all in by intensifying the Blight Tide, and it starts to break the defenses of the reinforced Tianshi pillars. Fortunately, in the end, with everyone's effort, especially you and Zhuangfang Yi, Nefarith is defeated and you successfully defended the city from getting flooded by the tide.
没事吧？放心，
这儿有我们。
Although exhausted and the battle resulted in some casualties, everyone is overjoyed and cheered for the victory. This was also the first real battle Li Feng has participated in, though he sombered a little as he sees the wounded, but everyone told him to chin up. One of the members of the Yinglong Special Task Force, called Summit, has also come to report that the Sui regulator is sending reinforcements to Wuling City, though that reinforcement is said to be just one person, and not a Tianshi. You are requested to remain in Wuling as it involves both you and the Project Siranite. Also, Arcane is rescued from the Marker Stone Scroll. Arcane is now resting on a sick bed. She was barely conscious when the Sui regulator rescued her, but what's weird is that she shows no visible injuries. On top of that, Ardashir's status also remains a mystery, at least until Arcane wakes up. Now that it looks like it's time for everyone to rest, the story is not done yet however, as Zhuangfang Yi is having sudden painful flashbacks. This is because there's a new rift that appeared under Wuling City due to the aftershock created by Nefarith's attack, and the dragon lantern that symbolizes peace in Wuling has yet to be lit up. The rift is dangerous and Zhuangfang Yi requests your help in person. To seal the rift, you need a Siranite Nexus. However, the way how a Siranite Nexus works is described as brute forcing, which it requires a huge amount of Siranite and can release a huge amount of energy that might backfire. Fortunately, even though you're surrounded by the smartest Tianshis in Wuling City, your intelligence as the Endministrator is also a force to be reckoned with. As you discussed with Zhuang Fangyi, you managed to come up with an idea of using your powers to stabilize the Siranite Nexus. The two of you decide to test this out at an islet far away from the city. Upon arrival, you happen to meet Li Feng, coming here to pay respects to his late parents, who once brought him here to train back then. The two of you then begin testing the idea, and it turns out successful. Just then, Pelika contacts you as she reports that the joint Endfield and Wuling defense system upgrade has encountered an issue, but the Tianshis are unfamiliar with Endfield tech and request your help. At the same time, Zhuang Fangyi is also needed somewhere else, so the two of you schedule to meet each other after both sides have settled their issues. It took a while, but after helping the Tianshis, as they are amazed by your expertise and proficiency, they surrounded you and swamped you with many related questions, like you're a celebrity among them. You quickly get it done and return to the lab to meet Zhuang Fangyi, only to find out that Zhuang Fangyi has left and proceeded to the underground to seal the rift on her own. Turns out, after taking a good look at the current state of Wuling, which has received so much help from Endfield and you, she has suddenly decided that this time she must not ask for your help anymore. She also saw a scene where you were swarmed by the Tianshis earlier, proving to her that everyone needs the Endministrator and that she shouldn't be selfish. You immediately find that it is no good. In her current state, and with the dangers of the rift, she must not act on her own. You quickly rush to catch up to her, and you make it just in time.
你来了。你说在实验室不见不散，却一个人先走了，所以就只好来这里等你了。
你在这里等多久了？
没关系，我只是刚来。你呢？为什么没有等我？
我一个人就够了。
骗人。不过也没什么，至少我等到你了。要一起走吗？
At some point while the both of you advance towards the rift, you happen to take the path of the scroll portal to reach the rift, where you get to see Zhuang Fangyi's pass through the scroll passage in the portal. There, you witness the scene where young Zhuang Fangyi and her seniors first invented the Siranite, and they planned to build Wuling City with it, with each of them wishing to build an establishment of their own. One asked if the city would have hotpot restaurants, the other insisted on an exercising plaza, and the old senior made sure to have schools, which are what shaped Wuling City today. Eventually, all of her seniors tragically died in an accident, possibly due to blight, leaving Zhuang Fangyi alone. You see young Zhuang Fangyi crying, but all that matters is the outcome, where today she is the viceroy of Wuling City, a thriving city due to hers and everyone's persistence and efforts. The rift is just a few more steps ahead, upon exiting the final scroll portal. The two of you march onwards with the Siranite Nexus, with Zhuang Fangyi in the front shielding and you at the back fending off the Aggelois. In the end, the rift is finally sealed successfully. with Zhang Fangyi thanking you and giving you a drink. The story marks the end. Thanks for watching.